When Jesus spoke about sacrifice, he didn't start with the altar, he started with the heart. In the time of Jesus, sacrifice was a well-established practice, rooted in the Old Testament. People offered animals, grain, and incense at the temple to atone for sin or express devotion. But Jesus redefined what true sacrifice meant, not just as a religious ritual, but as a deep, personal offering of love, obedience, and surrender to God. His teachings cut through the surface of tradition and revealed what God truly desired from his people. One of Jesus' most powerful teachings on sacrifice is found in Matthew 9:13, where he says, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." This wasn't a new idea. He was quoting the prophet Hosea, but Jesus used it to challenge the religious elite of his day. The Pharisees were strict in their offerings and rituals, but they lacked compassion. They looked holy on the outside but neglected justice and mercy. Jesus was saying, it's not the outward ritual God wants. He wants your heart. He wants mercy toward others. In Mark 12:41-44, Jesus is sitting near the temple treasury, watching people give their offerings. Rich men come forward, dropping large amounts of money into the collection. But then a poor widow places 2 tiny copper coins worth, only a fraction of a penny. Jesus calls his disciples and says, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything all she had to live on." This moment forever redefined what sacrificial giving looks like. It's not about the amount. It's about the cost to the giver. True sacrifice, according to Jesus, comes from a place of deep trust and surrender. Jesus also taught that true sacrifice requires letting go of pride and position. In Matthew 23, he criticizes the Pharisees for seeking attention and honor in public, while neglecting the weightier matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. He warns, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! They offered sacrifices in the temple, yet their hearts were far from God." This echoes Jesus' constant call for inward transformation over outward appearance. He didn't want burnt offerings, he wanted broken hearts and obedient lives. In Luke 14:26-27, Jesus gives perhaps his most radical teaching on sacrifice. "If anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple." Jesus wasn't promoting hatred. He was using strong language to show the level of commitment required. Following him meant putting God above all else, even the closest relationships. True sacrifice meant dying to self and carrying a cross daily. In Matthew 5:23-24, Jesus teaches that relationships matter more than rituals. He says, "If you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there. First, go and be reconciled to them. Then come and offer your gift." This was revolutionary. Jesus was saying that God values reconciliation and peace more than ceremonial offerings. Sacrifice without love and unity is empty. But perhaps the greatest example of what Jesus taught about sacrifice came not through his words, but through his own life. In John 10:11, Jesus says, "I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep." And in John 15:30, he says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." These statements weren't just metaphors. Jesus literally laid down his life on the cross, becoming the ultimate, final sacrifice for sin. In Hebrews 10:12, it's written, "But when this priest had offered for all time one sacrifice for sins, he sat down at the right hand of God." No more animals, no more blood. Jesus' own body and blood became the eternal offering. Jesus didn't just talk about sacrifice, he embodied it. His death wasn't a tragedy, it was the fulfillment of his teachings. True sacrifice wasn't about losing something valuable, it was about giving it in love. His sacrifice tore the temple curtain, removed the barrier between God and man, and made a way for everyone to come to the Father. But Jesus also warned us that sacrifice would cost us something. In Luke 9:23-24, he says, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it." This wasn't just a poetic saying, it was a call to a lifestyle of surrender. Following Jesus meant sacrificing personal ambition, comfort, and sometimes even safety. True sacrifice, in Jesus' eyes, isn't measured in money, effort, or outward acts. It's measured in the heart's willingness to give all for the sake of God and others. Whether it's given from poverty like the widow, surrendering pride like the Pharisees refused to do, or laying down your life like Jesus himself did, true sacrifice is rooted in love. So when we ask, what did Jesus teach about true sacrifice? The answer is clear. Sacrifice is not about losing something, it's about offering something meaningful. It's about giving your heart, your will, your comfort, and even your life to serve a higher purpose. It's about loving God with all you have and loving your neighbor as yourself. Jesus redefined sacrifice from ritual to relationship, and he invites us not just to admire his example, but to live it.